your story. We had read that those the whole book of short stories. I think that particular book was my introduction to Black history in the 12th grade. It was the first time, and I reread your story the other day, the boy who painted Christ black, and it's still stirring as ever. And I just maybe you share some comment on that for us.
Well, see, I was a product of the Old Harlem History Club, and coming to Harlem and out of the South, I began to study religions of the world, and people of the world, and I was investigating the concept of where Christ was born. He was born in that area of the world that's always been predominantly populated by non-Europeans.
Right.
And so the chances of him being black was just as good as that of anything else. Well, he surely was non-white. And I was really using some of the information I had gained in the Old Harlem History Club. That people generally paint the deity to resemble the Father in the home. And I used, it was a fictitious situation, but I used the name of living people in the story. And I was sued. I thought that was a compliment to be sued for $7,500. At the time, I was living in a furnished room off Lenox Avenue that cost me $3.75 a week.
Why were you sued?
Because I used the name of a principal, who would never came.
The principal in the book. Oh, okay.
He would not dare do a thing like that in real life.
Oh, okay.
I made him do something in the store he wouldn't think about doing.
Oh, he stood up in this book. The principal stood up for himself. He wouldn't have dared to it in real life. Huh?
He's dead now, unfortunately. He died a few years ago.
I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to just elaborate on some of the things. You're one of the few authors that I've met that we can look on your shelf and see your books translated into how many languages? We saw Japanese,
6 European and two Oriental.
I mean, that's an honor and a
Japanese and Chinese, and 6 different European, German, Hungarian, Swedish, and none of which I can read.
Give me just some closing remarks to young people that in reference to reading, because that's something that I'm always trying to push on, to read and get a better understanding. What kind of information can you share with kids in school today to get them turned on to reading and writing and getting a handle on who they are and their culture?
Well, I think the quickest way to young people is to read about the heroes of your people, and the inventors, and the people who achieve things with their hands and with their minds, and the people who wrote books that last. And start with the simple books and then move up from that, But you have to understand that while other people are showing their wares in the cultural marketplace, you have something to show too.
Right. Right. Makes sense to me. Well, thanks again.
Okay. Then.
And thank you for sharing with us the interview. We're in this great study, and we're going to go around a nice little pan of all these great books. How many books would you say that you've done?
Well, in the collection itself, I think I must have over 25,000. I have a civil rights library on the top floor. A library on civil disobedience and novels. I have a library on the indigenous American, mistakenly called India. And because I've studied oppressed people throughout the world, I've also studied white oppressed who being oppressed. So I made a strong study of the relationship of Jews to the rest of the world and Jews to African people. And to discover that really, among non-African people, they have the longest single relationship with
Yeah.
And they don't seem to know it or appreciate it, but
I think, but then
that is true.
maybe that could be because once you get over here, it can no longer work
It's no
for your
longer.
own success, or no?
Well, it's because the Europeans of the Jewish faith seem to have a different attitude. And it's just a matter of people gravitating toward whiteness.